morning, everyone. Distinguished guests, members of the Diplomatic Corps, colleagues, students, alumni, friends, you are all very welcome, and it's my great pleasure to welcome you here to the Helix in Dublin City University for the fourth annual conference of the DCU Centre for Climate and Society. My name is Diarmuid Torney. I am the Director of the Centre for Climate and Society, and I'm an Associate Professor in the School of Law and Government here in DCU. The mission of the Centre is to shape and support societal responses to climate change in Ireland and around the world. We are distinctive in an Irish context in bringing a particular focus on the social sciences and humanities to the climate and biodiversity emergencies and our responses to them. There are three interdependent elements of our work. First, our research activities. Second, our teaching. And third, our outreach and engagement. And our annual conference is a key element of that outreach and engagement, part of our work every year. And it's wonderful to see so many of you here joining us this morning. The theme of today's conference, as you can see on the screen, is climate justice across generations. The importance of this topic hardly needs to be emphasised. Across the world, temperature and other indicators of climate change continue not just to be broken, but to be smashed. March 2024 was the 10th straight month to be the hottest on record. The destruction of nature and ecosystems is equally stark. The Earth's wildlife populations have plunged by an average of 69% between 1970 and 2018. Here in Ireland, 85% of our EU-protected habitats are in unfavourable status, with almost half in ongoing decline. Recent years have seen increases in awareness and engagement around these urgent challenges, with increased activity at global, European and national levels. However, there's still a yawning gap between what we are currently collectively doing and what we know needs to be done. Against this backdrop, a focus on justice that we have today draws our attention to the many inequities that characterise the climate and biodiversity emergencies and our responses to them. These inequities are stark indeed within national borders in the global north, but they are even starker between the global north and the global south. We were particularly keen in looking at that justice lens to draw particular attention in our discussions today to the question of, or questions of, intergenerational justice between old and young, as well as between current and future generations. We believe this focus is particularly timely at the moment. This September, in New York, the United Nations Summit of the Future will bring together world leaders to seek to forge a new international consensus on how we deliver a better present and safeguard the future. You may have seen news coverage last week of the judgment of the European Court of Human Rights in the case of the so-called Swiss climate grannies. Also before the ECHR that day was a case taken by a group of Portuguese children and young people. While the latter case was deemed inadmissible by the court, the two cases taken together highlight the complex and highly important intergenerational questions posed by climate change. And I hope that today's conference will help us to unpack some of those important questions and reflect more deeply on them. Our programme today is composed of a mix of keynote contributions and panel discussions, all reflecting on the overall conference theme. Across our three keynotes, we have aimed to provide a dialogue across three distinct generations. Opening the conference, as you know, we will have Mary Robinson, Chair of the Elders. The second keynote, just before lunch, will feature a younger generation 4 children and young people who participated in Ireland's Children and Young People's Assembly on Biodiversity Loss will speak about their experiences. Niamh and Laura, both aged 17, Conor, aged 12, and Ailey, aged 10. Our third keynote contribution is by Ella Saltmarsh, a UK-based writer and thinker and co-founder of the Long Time Project. Needless to say, Ella herself is not from the future. She is not a member of a future generation, nor does she claim to speak on behalf of future generations. But she has worked extensively on how we can bring the perspectives of future generations into the decisions that we make today. Alongside our keynote contributions, we will have 3 panel discussions reflecting on the conference theme through the lenses of policymaking, the business world, and media and journalism. And we have a fantastic lineup of speakers across those 3 panels. To conclude our discussions this afternoon, poet, author and editor Jane Clark will give a closing reflection and will, I hope, treat us to some of her poetry. For anyone thinking of sneaking off early, I would very highly recommend staying until the end of the day to hear Jane's contribution. Throughout the day, there will be opportunities for you, our audience, to contribute to the discussions through Q&A sessions at the end of each segment. As a university, providing spaces for robust and respectful debate and challenging conversations is at the very core of what we do. And I hope you will contribute to these challenging conversations over the course of today. I hope also that you will contribute to sharing today's conversations online through social media using the hashtag DCU Climate 2024, which you can see on the screen as well. One piece of housekeeping, there's one late change to the programme. Unfortunately, due to illness, my colleague Dr Louise Fitzgerald isn't able to participate in the first panel discussion in the middle of this morning. But I'm very pleased to say that Dr Darren Clark from the DCU School of History and Geography has agreed to join that panel, and I'm very grateful to Darren for stepping in at relatively short notice. Now, without further ado, I would like to get proceedings underway. Our centre is supported through a philanthropic gift from Deloitte Ireland, for which we're very grateful, and I'm very pleased to welcome to the stage Glenn Gillard, Partner and Sustainability Market Lead at Deloitte, to give some opening remarks.